I'm sure most people remember May 21st, 2011. I know the elite, every single one of them remember that. A lot of the regular people here in America have never even heard of the warning. And that's why a lot of people don't really know what's going on right now. They think that this is like last year was the beginning of God's judgment, and there's a 7-year tribulation period, and we're gonna go on for the next 6+ years of absolute, complete, total annihilation and destruction. And yeah, like anybody's gonna live for another 7 years when it happens that way. Good luck living for like another 7 days when everything happens like that. So I go back, I remember the warning. I remember that it was, well, it was, let's see, from May 21st, 1988, and then up to last year, May 21st, 2008, was 30 years. A 30-year decree that, well, you just, when you're in the churches and you're praying to your God, He's not there in that church. He's just not there. The Holy Spirit didn't dwell in the church for the past 30 years. And before that, from May 14th, 1948 up until May 21st, 1988. Well, let's just go with 48 to 88. May 14th to May 14th is 40 years. 40 years. 40, the number testing. 30, the signing of a decree. 10 days eating pulse. 10 days, 3 days of darkness, 3.5 days of silence, and then after 3.5 days, and then so you already, and then 150 days of the waters will decrease continually for 150 days. And so you have the 40 days already. That's a testing period. You have the 40 days, the 40 years, 1 day for each year. You have the 30 years, 30 days, 1 day for each year. You have the time that we were warned about God's judgment back in 2008 to 2018. You have 10 years, 1 day for year, 10 days. And then so when you get to from May 21st, after the entire 40 and 30 is combined to be 70 exactly, because 70 years are determined. 70 years are determined. 70 years and what is determined is the question. And for most people, they don't even believe it. It's just whatever. It's like, yeah, Rob, we hear what you're saying. It's saying, numbers line up perfectly and everything, but hey, it's only numbers. You know what I mean? The elite don't go by numbers. Not at all. Not at all. They don't go by numbers directly, do they? So I'm just continuing on. That's all. I'm just continuing on with the timeline. And so May 21st of 2011, that was the total, the combine of 40 years, 30 years, Oh, and 7 days. I forgot the 7 days. So 7 days. Just like everything that was signed back in 2017, 18, December, what was it, December 6th? Was it November? Okay, November 29th, that's what it was. Trump and Pence recognizing Israel as a nation, signing that decree, you know. And then 7 days later was the, it was the anniversary on the 29th, November 29th, and then 7 days later on 12/6, they signed that decree that recognizing Israel. And then on April 20th, Israel was celebrating their 70th year anniversary, you know, by themselves, for the Jews only. And then 7 days later, exactly, was April 27th, and that was the beginning of North Korea, South Korea shaking hands. And that was the beginning of peace and safety a day before I thought it would be, because I went by the first month and the 24th day of the month, talked about in Daniel, going by the Herald Camping calendar. That's how I came up with the peace and safety, getting close to that script, because it's the second month and the 17th day is May 21st in the Herald Camping calendar, and it's the 24th of May in Enoch's calendar. And in the regular world calendar, well, it's the second month and the 17th day of the month. It's February 17th. So that's why I went and figured that it was the 27th day, the actual 27th day, or the actual the 28th day, I'm sorry, because it's 4 days more. Because the second month, 17th day, is actually May 21st, so it's 4 more days. So that's how I came up with that. But I subtracted 3 weeks before that, and that's how I came up with the wars and rumors of wars, that part of the script happening on April 7th, because I also took another confirmation of September 25th, when Obama, on 2014, when the Obama nation was set up, beginning to make it desolate, and count from that point on 1,290 days, landed on April 7th, and on top of that, the first month and the 24th day of the month in Daniel, when after, he ate no pleasant bread for 3 whole weeks, I subtracted the 3 weeks and came up with April 7th, and the Holy Spirit is what guided me into saying that it's going to be the beginning of World War III, the rumors of wars, and that's exactly what happened. And then 3 weeks later, it was actually, technically, it was 2 weeks and 6 days later, was the beginning of peace and safety, North Korea, South Korea. Then fast forward, it's all about the 70 years and then 7 days. It's about the anniversary, and then a new signing or another very important timeline. So then when we get to May 14th of 2018, it's the 70-year anniversary of Israel becoming a nation again. And on top of that, 7 days later was the full 7-year period, the 7 full days, 1 day for a year, since we were warned about God's judgment that came on the earth May 21st, 2011. So that's exactly 7 years, and then the floodgates open. Or the floodgates didn't open until October 21st, 2018, which is the 5-month period. It's 5 months later. And then, for the next 150 days. So, when you go back to May 21st, 2011, and you get the 7-year, just like the days of Noah, Noah was warned, he had 7 days to get into the ark, which is literally 7 years, 1 year for a day. And so when I go back to May 21st, 2011, that was the 5th seal, the 5th trumpet being blown, the next 5 months exactly, from October 21st, 2011 from May 21st, 2011 to October 21st, 2011. That was the 5-month period that men were being stung spiritually by the scorpions of the earth, the locusts coming out of the bottomless pit, Satan being loosed for a little season, given his full authority. Stephen was, that was the beginning, 2011, of his major deception of that book of Gematria. And so that 5-month period, absolutely nobody was being saved whatsoever. Nobody. Besides the 144,000 in that time frame. That 5-month period, because after the end of 5 months, and either way, if people believe it or not, doesn't matter. The fact is that from that point on, there was 5 months, and the 5th seal was opened up, and they saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the word of God, for the word of God, the ones that held on to the testimony, the ones that didn't deny God, the ones that weren't mocking Harold Camping, the ones that woke up in between that 5-month period for some reason or another, more than you've ever woken up in your life. If you woke up during that period of time, you're in good company. And so that's 5 months exactly. It was 153 days altogether. I believe it was 153 days, but it's still, it was the 5-month period. It was 5 months, not 150 days. Okay, it's not 150 days. It's 153 days, because it's 30, and then I believe there's 3 months of an extra day in there. So the continuance, it can't possibly have been the 150 days talked about, because that's not 150 days. It's 153 days. Now, you take 150 days, add it from October 21st. Well, then you get a different story when you're lining it up to you know, the end of winter. You know, you get a different story there when you take those 150 days and you add it from 7 years later. Because here's the deal. The Bible is a continuance of timelines. The continuance of the 7 years of the warning wasn't on May 21st, 2011. That was the beginning of it. That was the beginning of the 5-month period. Exactly. And then after October 21st, 2011 was the beginning of 7 years to get into the ark. The 7 days to get into the ark, which landed on October 21st of 2018. So when you take the 150 days and you add it from that point on, well, it lands right around, I don't know, like March 20th, 21st, somewhere around there, into the 22nd. March 2. So you have a continuance when the ark rested on Mount Ararat. Again, you could take, well, you could take it into the 10th month, like it says. It says in the 10th month, but it also says the 10th month and the first day of the month. And when you continue on from timelines, the first day of the month, from that 10th month on, the first day of the month, just like Noah's 600th day, 600th year of life, 2nd month, 17th day, and then the 601st year, the 2nd month, 17th day, the 27th day, the waters were dried. The waters were dried up from off the earth. Everything landing on that February 27th and the 28th. And then Michael stands up for 3 whole weeks, and you have to be withstand the kings of Persia for 3 whole weeks. And because there's going to be a time of trouble. There is. There's going to be a time of trouble. that happens probably, well, you know, we'll see what happens on February 15th, a time of trouble, you know, where trouble stands up, and we see it's never been like that ever since the history of existence. And so you can just count down. You can just count down 13 days. You can actually count down 33 days to get to like the end of winter. You know, pray that your flight's not pray that your flight's not in the winter on the Sabbath, where there's inactivity and decay. And but see, there's a time where in the midst of the week, in the middle of the week, or at the height of the week, it depends on how you interpret it. It depends on what calendar you use, whether you use the Enoch calendar, or you use the Hebrew calendar, or you just use the regular calendar. You know, you could do, I mean, you have 3 options. No, you have 4. You can use the Harold Camping calendar, you can use the Enoch calendar, which is only 3 days off. I like how it's 3 days in between, because there's give or take 3 days of darkness. Or you got the frickin' James Usher Fitz-James family calendar, which I'm not going by, or you go by the regular calendar. So you got 4 options. There's 4 options. I like to pick the option where most people don't pick. Because of the name Harold Camping, they are not picking it. Well, none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And the wise, they will instruct many and turn them to righteousness, and they will shine as the brightness of the firmament. So I'm just looking at you know, the continuance. So we got October 21st. I remember somebody made a video. I can't remember whose name it was. I don't remember. But it was somebody. It was 10 minutes, 21 seconds. Had something to do with that. Some talking about end of days, whatever. Hey, I praise you. Some like or whoever. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. You know, I mean, the elite, they don't use numbers. They don't. It's not really important to use numbers like skull and bone numbers. It doesn't. It's just a. I mean, they gotta. They gotta identify what, I guess it's like local 322 or something. I mean, I don't know. It's the union. It's just a number that they have, like locals union 401. It doesn't mean anything. It's like the address. That's all it is. Just address. It has nothing to do with anything else other than just the address of where that local union is in that state or city, or, you know, Michigan, wherever it could possibly land at, the shape of a penis. But hey, look, it's not what goes into your mouth that defiles a man. It's what comes out of your mouth, not what goes in. Okay, it's look. That's how. One thing I've learned is this: the elite, they take the Bible literally. They literally do. And they use it against anybody that believes in the Word of God. They'll use that against you. And if you're thinking about, it's like, all right, you need to be initiated into our group, okay? The first thing you got to do is, you know what you got to do. It's not what goes in the mouth that defiles a man. It's what comes out of the mouth that defiles a man. So, you know, just make sure that, you know, it's not what goes in, it's what comes out. So, you know, you have a hard time swallowing. Look, just don't let anything that defiles a man come into your mouth. Just make sure that it's whatever comes out of your mouth. That's what defiles you. The words, okay, that comes out of your mouth defiles you. It's not what you eat that defiles you. Even though when you're eating the portion of the king's meat, it's defiling you. So it truly is, well, you just got to kind of read between the lines and understand and use your brain use common sense. And when you use common sense, you can kind of start figuring things out. That it is what goes into a man's mouth that defiles him, because it's the portion of the king's meat that you're not trying to eat, because it's what they're giving you, the meat in due season, that will defile you. And then also what comes out of your mouth, you know, the words that comes out of your mouth from the meat of the king portion's meat that you did eat will defile you also. So you're defiled in every which way. And yeah, if you stick a penis in your mouth, it's defiling you. If you're willingly enjoying it and that's what you want to do, don't let them fool you and make you think, well, homosexuality is normal. It's because it's not what goes in your mouth that defiles a man. It's what comes out of your mouth. So make sure you spit it out. So the elite like to take things literal. They like to literally take things in the Bible and kind of try to use it against you. So, okay, let's take it literal then. Let's go with the literal interpretation. I got both angles covered, by the way. The 40 days is already there. It's 1 day for a year. The 30-day decree has already been taken care of, because it's, you know, trying to pray to your God in the church. Nope. And then the continuance of 7 days to get into the ark. I mean, after the 5-month period, and from May 21st and October 21st, 2011, 5-month period, and then the first woe has passed, and behold, 2 more woes come hereafter. After that 5th seal was opened up. So I'll take things spiritually and literally. I will look at the literal calendar, and I'll look at the Enoch calendar and the Harold Camping calendar that are very, very close and similar. And I'll look at, you know, the Fitz-James family calendar, which is, it's like, there's nothing has changed, okay? There's the Enoch calendar, and then there's the Harold Camping, the / Robin T's calendar, and then there's the literal calendar that all of you guys can go by. And then there's the elite calendar, which is the Fitz-James family, which is the same one that, you know, Steven's going by over there. Going by the Fitz-James family calendar. But you're also going to use the literal calendar against people. Okay, so let's see, from you take the 40 days from January 1st, you know, when the cherubims have stopped spinning or whatever, and that lands on February 10th. So there's that 40-day period, and then well, you have 4 days later. There's not going to be any more sweethearts. No more sweethearts. For the first time in 153 years. First time in 153 years. And then on the 15th, you have the judgment day of what's going to happen with the federal government. What's going to happen with the federal government? And also, what's going to happen on the 17th day of the 2nd month, literally. And then 10 days later, what's going to happen on the 27th day of the 2nd month, which is at the very end of February. And you know, you do have 30 days starting on February 1st, I mean March 1st, up until the end of March 31st, which is 30 days, just so you know. And then on the first month, the first day of the month, you know how King Nebuchadnezzar, he you know how they signed that decree, and then when I take the Fitz-James calendar, I'll fit that into the beginning of March to end of March, the 30-day decree. I could fit that in there. Because after all, it's 10 days also. You take the 10, you fit the 10 days in there too. Look, it's all about the Fitz-James calendar. You fit the 10 days in between there too, which you subtract it from March 31st, and it goes to, well, it goes to March 21st. I believe that's when people are going to be praying at their flights, not in the winter on Sabbath, something like that. And but see, when you go back to the book of Daniel, and you see how King Nebuchadnezzar, right? His understanding returned back to him after 7 times. Also, of course, when yeah, after 7 times, after the 24th day, 7 times, and then in the first month, the first day of the month, that's when old King lived forever. Finally, that's when see, up until that point, he was ruling in not a good way. And his kingdom was assured to him only after he was cleansed. So, if there's anybody out there that's playing the King Nebuchadnezzar role, the King Ahab role, the Jesus Christ role, the Antichrist role, the beast role, the false prophet role, if there's anybody out there that anybody knows possible that might be named Stephen James DeShawn, the character, if anybody knows anybody out there like that, just understand that that's what has to happen first. And that's what me using the Enoch calendar. Because the Enoch calendar is a continuance from that day on. So when it's talking about the continuance of the seven months, the 17th day of the month, it's a continuance from the 70th year anniversary. Those things are continuing on. Noah's life, Noah's 600th year birthday, 600th year was his birthday, 2nd month, 17th day. It was, that was according to the Enoch calendar. So that was literally May 21st or 24th when his birthday was. I could take every single one of these calendars and show you where all the dates line up at. And then you choose. You choose. April 1st, April Fool's joke. That's the funniest thing is, all these years, the joke has been on us. Ain't that funny how God has that sense of humor? That on the very last year, the joke is on you. And it's not really, I mean, it's a joke because we're all laughing. As you can see, the look, the countenance on our face. I mean, I love all the threats. I love them all. I love everyone. Everyone is such an honor because every time, I mean, I've been threatened. Yeah, the main one was with the guy had the account. He's going to come to my house with AK-47, kill me and drag my body out in the street. Hey, whatever. You know what I mean? If that's what you got to do, it's what you got to do. All that'll do is just unleash everything. That's all. It'll just unleash everything because from that point on, well, from the point before that, that just means that this regular person walking the earth, Robin Henry Tees, has fished into the sea. I didn't just go out fishing for 153 fish. Small fish. I went out deep sea fishing. Deep sea fishing. I would think deeply about the people in the sea. And I know that there's sharks in the sea that are swarming around little fish because because they're bullies. So me as a fisherman, I am meant to fish sharks, big old killer sharks, killer whales, fraudulent people. I'm here to fish them out, to reel them in, to bring them to the light, and show the world or whoever's watching my channel who I know. And it comes down to now being strictly, my message is to the elite. My message ain't to any regular individual person anymore. You guys already know what my message is. This message here is for the top elite. The ones that think and believe 100%. I mean, they are confident in this time of trouble. It is a time of trouble, correct? You guys are unfaithful, correct? Some of you have a broken tooth, right? Literally, if you want to take it literally, you know, some of yous do. You know what I mean? I can name a few of yous that have a broken tooth. But I'm sure if you get your hands on me, I'll have some broken teeth also. And then you'll be like, "Oh, Robin, you're like real faithful. And confident, but your teeth are broken." Whatever. So I searched and went deep sea fishing, and I caught the biggest shark in the world, and it's you, Steve. It's you. When will you give me credit? Probably when you see me face to face, and you tell me, yeah, you caught the biggest fish, the biggest shark in the sea. You won't say it over the air. You will not admit it and tell people that that's who you are. But out of 7.6.7 billion people in the world, I caught the biggest shark. So, death threats to me is an honor. That just means I'm doing my job very well. Very well. I mean, you're not making videos about anybody else. Just me, you know, still. So, I know I struck a nerve yesterday by saying I know an elite's timeline is. And I know that I like to eat pulse. What's that? Yeah, okay, yeah, I got the pulse now. I got the pulse of America. I got the elite's timeline. Oh man, I love fishing. Oh, and by the way, nothing changes anything. I don't take sides. There is no division being caused on my end, no matter what happens. Because I know that every filthy person is going to turn back to God anyway. And I know that Satan's job is to cause division. And it ain't working. Because I literally feel for everybody, including the ones that are scumbags of the earth. I feel for you guys. You guys will be cleansed.